So I usually don't do a live over here, but I'm gonna do one today because I want to talk about a story that's probably a week old, and it's about a police officer who worked for the Port of Seattle uh, Police Department, and he did a video, and he was pretty much talking about this COVID-19 and some of the rules, some of the regulations and orders that they had put in for the stay at home. You know, when it comes to churches, when it comes to people driving, being in public, and he disagreed with all that. And he disagreed to the point where he thought that a lot of his fellow officers, should not be enforcing those rules. He felt like it was against the Constitution. So what I want to do, I want to go through his video. I want to break it down, and I'm going to show you where I disagree. Now, I must say this first. He's a white cop. I'm a black male. This is not a racial issue. This is a Constitution issue. And I want to show y'all where he's wrong in his opinion. He's most definitely wrong in his opinion. Now, I'm not going to say he should have been fired, because he was fired for this video. I'm not going to say he should have been fired, but I will say he should have been retrained as a police officer, as a person who took an oath to protect and serve his community. He didn't want to do that. And he thought that every other cop who was protecting and serving and enforcing the laws of their community was tyrants. So we're going to listen to what he has to say. Now, as we go along, I will stop the video and show you why I disagree at. So that's most definitely what's going to happen. Now, the video is like 8 minutes long. So I'm not going to break down everything he says that I disagree with, but I will break down the majority of the things he says that I disagree with. So let's get into it.
As a police officer, I'm compelled to make this video. I've been in law enforcement for 10 years, and I'm speaking to my peers, other fellow officers, people in any kind of law enforcement position. I've seen officers nationwide enforcing tyrannical orders against the people, and I'm hoping it's the minority of officers, but I'm not sure anymore, because every time I turn on the television, every time I look to the internet, I'm seeing people arrested or cited for going to church, for traveling on the roadways, for going surfing, opening their businesses, going to the park with their families, or doing nails out of their own house, using their own house as a place of business, and having undercover agents go there and arrest them and charge them with what? With a crime? I don't know what crime people are committing by doing nails in their own house, but we're seeing this more and more and more, and we need to start looking at ourselves as officers and thinking, is what I'm doing right? Now, I want to remind.
Now, this is the first part I'm going to disagree with him on. He said that these police officers should look at themselves and ask themselves if they're doing something right, because they're enforcing governors, matter of fact, the president, governors, and local mayors' orders. He said they should look at themselves before they enforce those orders. Now, as a police officer, do you think that they should look at themselves when it comes to enforcing an order from the president, the governor, or a mayor? That's the first part I disagree with him on. Now, let's continue on.
I knew that regardless of where you stand on the coronavirus, we don't have the authority to do those things to people.
Honestly, Mark, just to stop for a second. Honestly, Mark, this right here took place like a week ago. And honestly, as black men in the sector we live in, we probably wouldn't have heard of this. It just so happened I was listening to this earlier from a video earlier, and that's how I came across this. So honestly, people like me and you, we never would have heard of this if it weren't for me. But let's move on.
People, just because a mayor or a governor tells you otherwise. I don't care if it's your sergeant or your chief of police. We don't get to violate people's constitutional rights because somebody in our chain of command tells us otherwise. It's not.
Now you hear what he's saying, right? He's saying a mayor, a governor, a chief of police, or even your supervisor don't have the right to violate your constitutional right. Now that's very important what he just said there. That's very important. So let's listen on.
How this country works. Those are de facto arrests. You know, we're violating people's rights and taking money from them, or even worse, arresting them and depriving them of their freedom, exercising their constitutional rights. So let's talk about that. Let's read something right here off of the Declaration of Independence. All men are created equal.
I'm gonna stop it right there. Now he's reading off the Declaration of Independence, right? All men are created equal. Now, like I said, this is not a racial thing, but as a black man, when they wrote that, was I equal? No, I wasn't. See, this is the problem with the Constitution. We want to pick and choose what we want to talk about with the Constitution. That first part that he read said a lot. If he knows history, he knows that everybody wasn't created equal according to America's standards at that time. But let's go on.
Among these, we have the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their power from the consent of the governed, meaning our power and any government official's power is derived from the people. Okay.
Now, he said derived from the people, right? Who elect the governors? Who elect the mayors? Who elect the president? The people, right? So when you elect the mayor, the governor, and the president, you're giving them your power to make decisions for them. You see what I'm saying? So, like I said, this guy is very misinformed about a lot of things. Now, this is a police officer of 10 years. And these are some of the things he's saying. And he failed to realize we elect officials to represent us. So when you elect those officials, they make those decisions for us. That's why it's for the people, by the people. But it all depends who wins. That's the American way. But let's move on.
Okay? We don't hold power over our citizens. It's contradictory to everything that our country stands for. And this is what I'm seeing. First Amendment rights. Telling people they can't go to church. Freedom of religion. Okay? Telling people they can't protest. Freedom of assembly.
Let's stop right there. Protest. Now, he just said we can't tell people how to protest, right? Now, what did we go through 3 years ago? Who was we telling how to protest? What was the right to protest? You see what I'm saying now? We pick and choose how we want people to protest. All of a sudden now, there's an issue because people are being enforced because of the covert virus, which is a deadly virus, to protest in a reasonable way. But when someone else was doing it a couple years ago, which it involved no one else, life or death situation, everybody had a problem with that. But all of a sudden now, we should be enforcing people protesting in the wrong way when it comes to people's lives. You see where we're going here? We got two different standards. We have two different standards in this country. But let's go on.
Fourth Amendment violations, illegal traffic stops to check for papers. What are you, the Gestapo? Is this 1930s Nazi Germany? You don't get to stop people unless you have reasonable suspicion or probable cause that they have committed a crime. And I know people that have personally been stopped saying, we want to see papers showing that you're essential.
Now, I'm going to tell you something about this. I had one of those pieces of paper at my job that said I was essential. Was I offended by that? No, I wasn't. Now, what this guy is not seeing is this is a life and death situation here. People are dying from this. This is not like we stopping people asking for their paper, just be asking for their papers. Now, let's go back a little further. Let's talk about stop and frisk. When there's a lot of police officers who had no concern about stopping people just because they look suspicious. They didn't commit a crime. They didn't do anything wrong, but just because they look suspicious, they got stopped. Now, what did this cop just say? That's Gestapo. You see what I'm saying? You see where I'm going in there, right? What this cop is saying, it goes against everything that a lot of people do in this country on a daily basis. Stop and frisk in New York. That goes against what he just said. That goes against that. When you talk about protesting, when those protesters were protesting that they want to go back to work, knowing that this virus is a deadly virus, but they were protesting that. He had a problem with that. But when someone else was protesting peacefully, he didn't have a problem with that. He had a problem with that, though. This is crazy. But let's go on, though, and listen to some more of this BS.
That is not how our job works, okay? What really has been pissing me off lately is the fact that these officers that are going out here and enforcing these tyrannical orders, what they're doing is they're making my job and my safety, or they're my job and my safety at risk. Because what you're doing is you're widening the gap between public trust and law enforcement officers. And what that's going to do is it's going to, I mean, look at what's happened to law enforcement in the last 10 years. Less and less public trust, and more often than not, that is a result of isolated incidents that get blown out of proportion. They're not isolated anymore. They're happening every single day. And the thing that I want you guys to realize is that our power that we hold as law enforcement officers is nothing more than a facade. It's a badge and a gun. And people, you don't realize, if you haven't lived in anarchy, if you haven't seen combat, things can be stripped from people in a heartbeat. And that's what I'm afraid of. I'm afraid that these actions are going to wake a sleeping giant, i.e. the American people, okay? They are going to be put in a position where they won't have their rights trampled anymore. And us as law...
Now, he's talking about rights trampled. Now, this is my thing also with this whole video, which he does. The American Constitution always make adjustments when it comes to crime and life. Now, there was a lot of things that was done because of this COVID-19 virus. Yes, people was told to stay at home. Yes, people was being monitored to make sure that we wasn't causing more death and more harm than we needed to. Yes, those things took place. But let me tell you something else that took place back in 1968, I believe. I think it was 67, 68, one of the two. A Constitution infringement on the Second Amendment, which no one complains about today. No one complains about this today. If you know what I'm talking about, convicted felons losing their right to bear arms. I wonder what this cop would feel about that being done. I wonder how did he feel that convicted felons to this day cannot bear arms, which is in the Constitution of the United States of America. How do he feel about that? How do he really feel about that? I just wonder. See, we pick and choose the part of the Constitution that we want to follow. We pick and choose. Right now, he's talking about COVID-19, things that's happened in this country today, where people are being pretty much controlled to save lives. Because that's what it is. We're being controlled to save lives. We're making people stay at home to save a life. What's wrong with that? Because back in the 60s, we took the right to bear arms from convicted felons to save lives. Didn't we do that in the 60s? Can y'all please tell me if I'm right or wrong? Did we not take the right to bear arms from convicted felons to save lives? So what is wrong with the government doing what they're doing today? See, this is where they come in when it comes to these cops. This cop is a hypocrite. He's a straight up hypocrite. And then he's telling other cops that they should not enforce the regulations that the governor and the mayors and the president of the United States set forth to be enforced. That's crazy. Like I said, I don't think he should have been fired, but I think he should have been retrained about his job. He took an oath to serve the people of his community. And by serving the people of his community, that's about saving lives. It's all about saving lives. See, we tend to forget part of the Constitution that says for the people, by the people. And when you elect someone to serve you, that's the people electing that person. You're giving that person the power to do the things they do in defense of you. You know, I just want y'all to understand some things. When y'all listen to all this BS that some of these people make, videos they make, like I said, this officer, he was misinformed. He's totally misinformed. Totally misinformed. But I tell you, the video he put out, it got like 500,000 hits off of it. And a lot of people agree with him. That shows you where this country stands today. That shows you how we think today as a country. But we don't think about the big picture. We don't think about all those people whose rights has been taken from them over the years, like convicted felons, to carry guns to save lives. We don't think about that. Because we're not thinking about why are those rules in place today with this COVID-19 virus. Those rules are in place today to save lives. Just like back in the 60s, when they took convicted felons' right to carry a gun, it was to save lives. And that's what they're doing now. They're trying to save lives. No one is being persecuted for their religious beliefs. They're trying to tell people you shouldn't congregate right now because of the virus. I love my life. I love my life. And if a police officer is enforcing that rule that a governor or the president or a mayor put in place to save my life, thank you. But this dummy is telling police officers, his fellow police officers, that they are tyrants for enforcing that law or those rules. Like I said, I can see why he lost his job, but I don't think he should have lost his job. I think he should have been retrained. Retrained. Because he have no idea of what he's doing. He have no idea of what he's saying. None whatsoever. He's an idiot. He knows nothing about the Constitution. And that's what a lot of people do. They say things about the Constitution and they have no idea really what the Constitution is all about. Because if he knew what the Constitution was all about, he would not be making that video. He would never make that video. Never make that video. But like I said, he needs to be educated. Not fired, but educated. But they did fire him, though. It's crazy. But Mark, man, look up Port of Seattle police officer being fired, and you'll see the video, man. See the whole video yourself. And you tell me what you think about that video, man. Because I didn't play the whole thing. I did just stop it. But you tell me what you feel. But like I said before, this is not a black or white thing. This right here is an ignorant thing. Because that police officer is totally ignorant of the facts. Totally ignorant of the facts. But those are the people who supposed to serve us and protect us. With him, I'll be scared. Well, I'll be scared that he's protecting me or out there trying to serve me. Because I don't think he's qualified right now. I think he should have been retrained a long time ago of how to do this job. But like I said, I just wanted to bring that story to y'all. Like I said, the story is over a week old. The video is over a week old. But I came across the video and I was listening to this because he got a lot of people who saying that he should have never been fired. He got a lot of people saying that he was correct. Matter of fact, he had some people who were saying that he training other police officers. That's how stupid this is. He had people leaving comments saying that he should be training other police officers on how to do their job. That's how fucked up we are in America today. A guy like that, someone is actually saying we should use him to train other police officers. Come on. That is crazy, man. That is really crazy. But like I said, I just had to bring the story to y'all today. I did a live for the first time in probably 6 months over here. I need to do more. I really do. I need to do more to get my sanity back. But Mark, man, check that story out, man. Tell me what you feel about it. And like I said, I need to start doing more stories over here. And I need to promise you guys, if you follow me, I'm going to get out the gutter and come to this clean side of the streets and do more stories over here for you. I promise you that. So until next time, I salute you all. And y'all have a great day. Take care. And Mark, thank you for showing up, man. Like I said, man, I got much respect for you. You follow me on all my channels. I got much respect for you, my brother. Thank you. Thank you. And Charles, I know you somewhere out there too. And I know you follow me also. So thank you also. Thank you, brothers, for supporting me on all my channels. Thank you.